what were they even thinking? Like, what happened? What happened from A to B where they were like, okay, we're gonna just mess this all up? Hey guys, I wanted to come on here today and discuss my experience with Fyre Festival. I know I'm a little late in doing this. I know it happened about a couple weeks ago, but I haven't really been in the country. Last weekend I was in Cabo photographing a wedding, and I thought this would be something better to discuss on YouTube than writing an entire blog post about it. So for those of you that don't know what happened or what Fyre Festival is or was, it was supposed to be this expensive, luxurious music festival that was hosted in the Bahamas. Tickets for this thing ranged anywhere from $1,500 to $250,000. There was people in the airport that told us they spent $1,500 on their ticket. There was articles online where people were complaining that they spent $12,500 on their ticket. And then there's also the rumors of the $250,000 tickets that included yachts and other things like private villas and all of that stuff. Regardless, even if it's not true, that it's crazy that that's even a rumor about a festival. So we were guaranteed luxury villas to stay at. We were told that big artists such as Major Lazer, Migos, Blink-182, just to name a few, were going to be there performing. We were told amazing food, drinks, we're going to be there, yachts, and all of this was going to take place on a private island called Fyre Cay. The other event details that they promised were there was going to be buried treasure hunts, yacht parties, and each person was going to get a concierge package that was valued at least or over $50,000, and each person was going to get one of these things. And when you watch the commercial now, you're just like, wow, like this event looks amazing. And when I go back and watch it now, I'm like, wow, like why couldn't this be true? Alright, so how did I get mixed up in all this? Well, a few months ago, my best friend Lacey Rogers calls me and tells me about a music festival in the Bahamas that she's being flown out to, where they offered to pay for her and her two friends to come with her. They offered to pay for Lacey and two of her best friends to just come with her. All expenses paid. We were told that we would stay in luxury villas, all our expenses are paid for, and that we would just be taken care of. Why? Why would they spend the money on that? I wasn't going to ask because I was fine with going. I was like, yes, I will absolutely go with you to a trip to the Bahamas where I don't have to pay for anything and I can just sit, relax, and enjoy music. I'm good. Yes, I would love to go with you, Lacey. So I didn't look into any of this. I was just like, yeah, I'll go. I was just going with the flow. And honestly, up until a month before the actual festival, I was calling it Fyre Festival. So that's how little I knew about this actual thing. But right before we even were going to the festival, they emailed us and told us that we were going to be upgraded to the Artist Pass. Why? But okay, again, not asking questions because this Artist Pass was valued at $10,000, gave us VIP access, unlimited drinks all weekend, which I don't really drink, so I didn't really care about that. But I was still like, $10,000 for a ticket? Like, okay, whatever. Again, just going with the flow, not asking questions, and just thinking, whatever. Well, and so far, based on everything that happened, surprisingly, we were, like, they accommodated for us. Like, they booked our flights from, Lacey and Tristan's flights from LA to the Bahamas, and they booked mine from Arkansas to the Bahamas, and there was nothing wrong. So they kept up their word up until the very last second. Anyways, before heading to the festival, we get this email from Fyre Festival saying that we need to put money on our Fyre band because they were promoting the festival to be a cashless experience, and there would be activities that we could do such as swimming with the pigs, going on jet skis, riding on boats that all costed extra and wasn't included in our package. They recommended that we would probably spend around $300 a day, and that would include food and drinks and the activities. And I was just thinking like, we'll probably just do like a couple activities and then the rest can be for food because I wasn't really planning on spending any money on drinks. So for the whole weekend, I put about $500 on my Fyre band, which I entirely regret doing now. The day that we were scheduled to leave, I kept having this weird thought in my head saying to me like, oh, Stephanie, I can't really picture you going to the Bahamas this weekend, or Stephanie, you're not going to be in the Bahamas this weekend. But I just kept having this like weird negative thought, but I was trying to push through because all my flights were on time, everything was going as scheduled, and so I was just like, whatever, just going with the flow. And when I got to Miami, I go to the spot that Fire Festival told me to go to, and where the actual Fire Festival employees were checking us in and giving us our wristbands, giving us our artist pass, saying like, oh, like you're gonna have an amazing time this weekend, and oh, I hope you take so many great pictures and tag us, all this stuff. And I was just thinking, now that I think about it, I'm like, what? Like, they were literally telling us that we're gonna have an amazing time and all these other things, and they probably knew way more than I did. I didn't even know how to pronounce this music festival until like a month ago, and I'm just like, now, like, why would they tell us? Why would they let us get on the plane? Why weren't they like, you know what, things aren't working out, you guys should probably go home? But anyways, they just let us do that. So whenever I meet up with Tristan and Lacey, we kind of start putting two and two together because our flight was getting delayed by hours, and people were piling up at the gate. And we eventually get on our plane, and we're thinking like, oh, how can we figure out the truth about what's going on with the music festival? So we get on Twitter, and people are live tweeting from the festival saying that they showed up in an abandoned style festival area. Their tents were destroyed. There was nowhere to sleep. The luggage that they brought from the airport was being thrown off of trucks, like just thrown off into piles for just anyone to take. People's things were being stolen. And the luxury food that they promised was a piece of bread and cheese. Yeah. So anyways, also, the artists that were scheduled to be there, Blink-182 pulled out immediately, and the others weren't even really scheduled to be there. They were actually performing in other cities, so that's cool. Anyway, so we're figuring all of this out as we're on the plane. We're reading things like there's no food, there's not even alcohol, there's not even food on the island. Restaurants are closed, people don't have cell phone service, some people do. People are going crazy, people are getting angry, some people are hurting other people. And I'm just like, oh my God, we are about to take off on this plane to the Bahamas with no plan. And I know that people have said to me, like, whenever because we were live streaming that whole thing, we were freaking out, like, we don't know what to do. My mom was like, what is going on? And people were saying, like, oh, you'll be in the Bahamas, so it's fine. No, it's not fine, because usually when you go to another country, you have a plan. We didn't have a plan. We were told that we would get off the plane, we would be picked up and taken to our luxury villa. But we were going to land in the Bahamas with no cell phone service and nowhere to go, really late at night, and probably nowhere to stay. So it wasn't a really ideal situation for us to be in, and that's why we were freaking out along with everyone else on the plane. Luckily, though, right before we were about to take off, the pilot stopped the plane, came to us and said that the actual Bahamas government was no longer allowing any more planes to enter the country because of Fire Festival and all of the insanity that was happening down there. They were literally halting planes from entering the country. So we were instead told to get off the plane so the plane we were on could go and rescue the people on the island. Rescue the people on the island. Like, what is happening? So we get off. We end up being stranded in Miami, which I'm totally okay with. Or I was totally okay with. I was with Tristan and Lacey. We got to hang out. We did cool photo shoots. We explored Miami. We had an awesome time. But I felt terrible for the people that were over there because we kept reading all these horror stories and how people were just like nowhere to go, stranded completely. And I know that initially it is funny. I mean, the memes were funny. Like, the picture of the food from the music festival was hilarious, and I saw some actually really funny things. But I wrote on my Facebook how crazy this was that this festival happened and how it happened to all these people, and some guy wrote on there like, oh, well, they deserve that to happen to them because these rich people spent all the money on that festival. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. No one deserves that to happen to them. I don't care how much money you have. You don't deserve to be told that all these things were going to happen, pay for them, and then you'd be stranded out there in a dangerous situation. Like, no one deserves to not feel safe, especially when they didn't ask for that. It wasn't an ideal situation for anyone to be in, and no one deserved that. So that wasn't really that funny. And I do feel bad for those people, and I'm glad that everyone made it home safely. But I haven't really checked into anything since the Fire Festival. All I know is that they owe me $500, and I would love to have it back any day now. They won't return my emails. They won't return Lacey's emails. I think the next step that we have to do is contact our banks and tell them it was fraud. Oh, hit with 6 lawsuit. Okay. Now they're being sued for $100 million in a class action lawsuit. New lawsuit claims Fire Festival was a fraud from the start. Nothing more than a get-rich-quick scam, which people are saying it's a scam, and I mean, it is a scam because nothing happened, but to me, I was like, why would they pay for us to come out there? Why would they spend all that money on our plane tickets if it was never going to happen? Which we did not give them any money other than like for our fire bans. All this keeps saying is that there's more and more lawsuits. Yeah, I'm just reading this and slowly seeing that I am probably not going to get my money back. But on a positive note, they plan to have another festival in 2018 in the United States. I can't wait to see how that works out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. Let me know what you'd like to see. Thank you for all the positive support and feedback that I've gotten from this. I'm still learning. I am working on a question and answer type vlog for you guys because I've received a lot of questions to answer about photography. I am working on that. We are going to start working on vegan cooking, and we have a lot more stuff that we want to share. So thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you again soon. Talking about this stresses me out because I'm just thinking it like, I don't understand. And why was Ja Rule involved in any of this? I didn't even know that. If someone would have told me that, I would have been like, all right, I don't know if I should go. I didn't know about that until later. I haven't heard about anything he's done in a while.